Hey guys, good evening. I hope I'm pretty much audible as well as visible. So, guys, just a quick hi or hello in the chat will be really great. So, looks like I should be audible. Okay, just a hi or hello in the chat, guys. So, just let me know if I'm audible. Okay, great. So, we have pretty much started. So, we are into our discussion today. So, we are into our playlist, which is nothing but data analysis in 3 weeks. So welcome everyone to our today's playlist. Hey Anirudh, thank you for joining us, and I hope others are also joining us. So great. So as you know, we are into our playlist of data analysis in 3 weeks, and we couldn't meet yesterday, so I informed you. So today we'll be starting with functions. So that's pretty much the agenda. Hey Kostab, thank you so much for joining us. Great. Thank you so much, guys, for confirming. So, as you know, today's topic is functions, and we'll be talking about functions, and it's going to be the part of our playlist, function data analysis in 3 weeks. So, function is going to be one of the important topics, and the reason we are focusing on Python, Python is one of the mandatory key skill sets for data science. Okay, so for any data analysis work, for anything whichever you whatever you do in data science, right? So Python is going to be the key for that. And if you know Python, that things gonna be very easy for you. So once you start working in it, so that is the reason why we're focusing on Python. So till date, we have discussed about the data types. We discussed about the various data types available. We discussed in detail about lists, tuples, and also dictionaries. We did few questions on dictionaries also, but again, still, I mean, with time, we'll be doing a lot of other things as well. But again, keeping the playlist in mind, we are proceeding with functions. So I'll be talking about functions today. So why functions, how will you create a function, and what does a function mean, right? So we'll talk about all of that. Great. So that's going to be a today's agenda. But again, before starting, a quick introduction about myself. You know, my name is Arpit Jain, and I'm a lead data scientist myself. I have been into industry for almost 9 years now, into multiple domains, and multiple domains include manufacturing, telecommunication, automobile, banking, cloud. So I've been into multiple industries. So any questions regarding any particular domain or anything which you want to talk about regarding data science or anything, so feel free to put up your questions, guys. Along with that, I'm also a motivational speaker. So I take up industry sessions. I talk to students regarding their job, career, and all that. So any questions regarding your career, placements, anything. So please do put up the question in the chats. And also, as I discussed before, so we are also planning to have the placement preparation interview separately. So we're gonna have a playlist uh, for interviews. So we're gonna be having there we'll be discussing about resumes, profile building, GitHub links, so multiple things, right? So we're also planning that. You'll be getting an update for that playlist as well. So we'll be taking that as well. But for now, in this playlist, we'll be focusing on functions. So data analysis in 3 weeks. Okay. So hello guys again. Okay, Ali, thank you so much for joining us. Good evening. Great. So let's proceed, guys. So let me pull up the content and let's proceed. So I hope, meanwhile, you guys are comfortable with the other topics we have discussed so far. Any questions in list, tuples, dictionaries, guys? So what the questions which we did, does that make sense to you? I hope you are able to understand whatever we discussed, right? Any questions, guys? Please do let me know. There should not be any question. So yes, there could be something which you might have solved in your own place and you got an error. So please let me know that. But again, whatever we have been discussing so far, there should not be any doubt in that. If you have any doubt, any problem, please do let me know. Okay. Let me pull up the content. Just a minute for functions. Just let me know if my screen is visible. I don't know why this is not coming up. And this should be visible now. Uh, okay, just a technical problem, guys. Just wait for a minute. I'm trying to pull up the screen. Do let me know once my screen is visible, guys. I'm trying to fix that. Guys, do let me know if my screen is visible. Just a minute. I think there is some technical challenge. I'm trying to fix that. Oops, my bad. There is some problem. My screen is stuck and I think I'm not able to show the right thing to you. Just allow me a moment. I'm fixing that up. Meanwhile, guys, please utilize the time if you have any questions, anything. So I hope you guys are solving the things at your end, right? So did you try solving the question at your own place? Did you try solving that? What we discussed so far? Guys, just a quick hi or hello in the chat. If you have started solving the questions, because last time I remember I shared the question on the chat also, right? So did you try solving that, or anybody faced any problem while solving this? Are you clear with the Python topics? Are you clear with the list? Guys, I don't know why there is a problem, but I'm still unable to put up the content. Okay, we have a question. Meanwhile, we'll take that. So, which domain has most data science job? That's I would say, an irrelevant question actually. So, all the, I would say in that sense, all of your domains and everything has equal opportunity. So, it's not like one domain has a specific number of jobs. It's like all the domains I would say has equal amount of opportunities. So, it's not like one domain is having specific amount of job. It's like every other options. So wherever you go, whatever field you go, right? So it's had equal amount of opportunities. So be it telecom, be it manufacturing. So every industry is unique, right? So every industry will be having their own respective problem statements which they will be willing to solve, right? So it's not like one domain has what kind of problem statement. So every domain will be having equal amount of opportunities. So it's not. So don't think from that perspective. Okay. So do you have list of problem slides? I don't have a list of such problem slides. I mean, for every class, I prepare such questions, but whenever I come to the session, right, so I try to prepare some questions likewise, Anirudh. In that, we did one question where there were nested lists, and you told GeeksForGeeks element and all that. Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, for those type of questions, right, I generally prepare the content and come to the class. But again, if you want such questions, you can always refer back. But I'm also planning to have multiple sessions likewise where we can solve many questions as we possible. So once we finish this playlist, right, so we'll also go deep in individual topics. So I was planning, as I told you, right, so I was also planning to solve practice questions, which includes question from lead code analytics, with a lot of multiple websites where we can solve hackathons, some online competitions. We can do that. Okay, so let's keep be patient for that. So another question, I have doubt that how will we access if access E from GeeksForGeeks element, which is inside nested lists. Uh, which question exactly? So I mean, can you type the question? Uh, so it'll be easier for me to understand. So if you can type the question, I'll just try to answer that maybe. Okay. Meanwhile, let's proceed, guys. I hope I have fixed the technical issue. So, meanwhile, I'll proceed. Anirudh, please paste a question in the chat, so I'll answer that. Okay. Okay. So now, what is function, guys? What is function? So I'll tell you why function is important first. Okay. So function is nothing but a set of commands which can be used for a repetitive work. Okay. So for example, suppose if you have to do a plus b many times in the code, right? So instead of writing line a plus b like multiple times in your code, we can just define, right, a function, a unanimous function which can be called instead of writing this expression every other time, right? So we can simply call this function which will do the job of addition for me. So it's like if you're doing a same job at multiple places in the code, you can write a function more like a help, more like a helper utility in your code, and then you can call that function to do your job, that specific job which are being repeated multiple times in your code. That is the reason why functions are used. So I'll give you some examples, you'll get to know that. So now how to create a function in Python, okay? So for that, we use the keyword def. So if you write the keyword def, definition or whatever you want to call this as, def, that's where we'll be saying that we are creating the function. So after def, we're going to give a space, and then we have to write the name of that function. So this here, hello becomes my function, and function always ends with a parenthesis. Okay, it's because it's a function for me, right? It's like an object element. So here it always ends with a parenthesis. Okay, and after parenthesis we give a colon. So colon means now under this we have to define what is the objective of this function. Okay, so a syntax be like def gonna be my keyword, then here I'll be having my name of function, it always ends with parenthesis, and then a colon, and then just the enter will always give a tab. So this tab is by default tab here. Now here you have the definition for function, right? So it could be multiple lines. Cool. And at the end, if you are ultimately the function would be doing something, right? Either it is calculating something, or you want to return the output, or you want to print the output. So you can have anything at the end. So you can either print the output, right? You can return the output. Return means at the end you're going to get a value out of it. It's going to do some calculation. Okay, so that's how it can be used at multiple places. Cool, that's the syntax for me. Now how to write it? So here in this function, what I've done is I've created a function named hello, right? And now I have the parenthesis in it, and this function is doing just a plain simple statement, print hello world. Okay, now if I want to print hello world, I can also call this function like print hello world directly. I can still do that, right? But now if I have to do print hello world say multiple times in my sentences, right? So instead of calling print hello world, or likewise it can be of multiple words, right? So it's like, say now I've said it's one of bigger sentences, right? So every time I have to type this all thing, right, I can simply call this over a function. So instead of writing this entire thing again, I can simply call this functionality hello, and it'll do hello world for me, right? So I just reduce my effort. You got it? So this is the reason why functions are used. So function is basically nothing but it is doing the job. I mean, if you're doing the same job multiple times at multiple places in the same code base, you can just create a function and then use that to do the same job every time. You can call it whenever it is needed. Okay, clear? Okay, so we have a question from Anirudh. It says, from above, how to access E that is present in GeeksForGeeks element, right? Okay, so you're saying this, is it? So this is like my element, say for example, element ELE, and this is your Geek for Geeks. This is what you're saying, right? Now if you have to access, it's a simple string, right? What's the problem in that? So string ka aap index kar sakte ho again. If I do 1 here, I'll get E. This is my first E. Then I can also do 2, so I'll get this E. What's the problem in that? So I'm not able to understand I mean, is this a question? It's very simple. So just like basic indexing will give you the result, na, Nirudh? Does that make sense? Or I'm not able to understand your question. Please do let me know if I'm not able to understand your question. Cool. So that is the reason why coming back. So we use the function. So now in function, this is inside this parenthesis, we can also pass some user defined arguments. Like for example, suppose in this hello world itself, right? Suppose I have to write the name. So like for example, suppose like this, right? So like this. Now if I have to, for example, if I log in, I have to print hello Arpit, or I have to print say hello Aditya. Likewise, I can have multiple names, right? So respective to the user, I have to write the name. I cannot just simply write a common statement every time and print it, right? So in this becomes my dynamic element, right? Depending on the user, depending on the input, I have to define the output, right? So in this case, this element, which is again an input, can be passed in your functionality itself, right? So now in this case, in this parenthesis, we can also pass an argument. So here I am giving argument as name, for example. Now, and in the print statement, we use the same format. So now we have this curly braces, and we have used the dot format, and the dot format, we're giving the name, right? And the name is nothing but my actual the name which I'm passing every time, right? So here, suppose if I want hello Arpit to be given, right? So same thing. So now if I pass, for example, this, so now if I call hello, it'll give me an error because here it expects one argument to be passed. Can you see this, the error? Type error, it says it is missing one required positional argument, which is name. So name has to be mandatorily passed in this, right? So now suppose if I give hello Arpit here, now I'll get the output as hello Arpit. Now if I give hello Aditya, for example, I'll get hello Aditya. So this is dynamic, this is user defined, right? But again, I'm using the same thing, hello, right? So instead of calling, so for Arpit, I'm writing print hello Arpit, then print hello Aditya, every time differently for different users. It's not possible, right? So for the same purpose, I can pass this name in terms of a user defined input argument for me. I can do that. Cool. I think your list is not getting copy pasted, Anirudh. I think maybe this in this chat it is disabled. Maybe can you just try some other way, or maybe I don't know, because I'm not able to see the list actually. Maybe I think it's disabled here, so you can try writing the question like list as list and then like this. So because it will disable the it's a security but no, they have disabled the chats like that. Okay, cool. Coming back, so now this is like the very basic input. Okay, so now we have done the basic hello of my things, है ना? चलो now अब क्या करते हैं, we'll do some functions with the parameters. अब suppose for example, okay, we have this question from Anirudh here. So he says L as ABCD, append, insert, max geek for geeks. ये क्या है? So okay, so now here you want to access E from Geeks for Geeks. This is what you're saying. So I'll just write it down, right? So I think just a minute. Let me pull back the. Just a minute, guys. I think I just lost it. Just a minute. So it was in lists, right? Let me pull up that question also. It should be in list methods if I'm not wrong. Let me take that question. Okay. Widget study about append exercises. Okay. This is the one, is it? So okay. I got it. Okay. So basically now this is I have as a list. Okay, so this is my list. Now okay, so now for printing geeks, let's do it one by one. I'll show it to you. Okay. So सबसे पहले, for example, if I want to access E from Geeks for Geeks, right? So this is very simple. So first of all, this is your entire list, right? इसमें how many elements you have in this list? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 elements, right? So this entire thing is your one element here. Look at this entire thing is your one element. So how to access this? You write L of 0, 1, 2. You'll get 2. You'll get this inner list. Okay. Now in this inner list, if I have to access GeeksForGeeks, this is coming under the third element. So this is my first element, second element, this entire thing again my third element, right? So I can simply write -1 from here, -1. So I'll get this part, okay? Now in this list again I have two elements, 0 and 1. So I can also write again -1 here, last element. So still I'll get this function in GeeksForGeeks. Again, if I want GeeksForGeeks, I can do right again -1. So I'll get GeeksForGeeks now. Now in this GeeksForGeeks, if I want E, for example, I can write 0, 1. So 1 will give me E. Or if I write 2, I'll still get E. Or if I want this to be part of my this, so I'll get -1, -2, -3. If I write -3 also, I'll still get E. Got it? Clear? So it's like you go n depth inside your nested list. Okay, hardly matters. So I mean, the number of lists is not a question. It's like how you kind of access that element from the list. That's what we need. Okay. Cool. Coming back to the functions. I hope I answered your questions now. Cool. So now we discuss about how to print a basic element. Now, simple function with a parameter, right? So suppose I'm creating a function sum, okay? So now here the objective of this function is I'm using one parameter only, okay? So one parameter only. So I want a function which adds. So I want a function which adds 1 to every user defined element. Okay, this is what I want. So function which adds 1 to every user defined element. So now here, if I have the element x, so if I pass 5, for example, so output should be 5 plus 1 equal to 6. This is what I want. And if I pass 10, the output should be 10 plus 1 equal to 11, right? So this is what I want. So whatever element I pass, I want that element to be added with added with 1 there, correct? So this is what I want. So now how to get that, man? So if I want this to be happening here, so here what I'll do is simple. Again, this element is a user defined element where I'll be passing this, and then I'll be doing +1 on top of it. So when I do a +1 here, I'll be getting x plus 1. So I can pass anything like this, right? So if I do like say sum of now say 10, right, then I'll get 11 as my output. And then if I write sum of say 125, say I'll get 126. Right? So this is how it's pretty simple. So this is why the functions are being called. And I can make this function any way I want, right? I can pass. So here it's not only mandatory that I pass only one element. I can pass two elements also. So for example, I can make a function like definition of sum two elements. Okay, so this is my function I'm creating, sum of two elements, right? So here instead of passing one element, I pass both x comma y. Okay, and now in this what I want so now the output should be print x plus y. This is what I want, right? So this is my function. Now if I call this function sum of two elements, and now here it expects two elements. So if I pass 1, for example 10, I'll get an error here because it says that it's still missing one more element y. I've added x, which is 10, but it's still missing y. So I'll write 10 comma suppose 20. Now I'll get 30 as output. You got it? So likewise, I can define my user defined function and to do any job, right? And this function can be called at any place, any piece, at any part of my code, depending on my requirement. Got it? Hello, Vanna. Thank you for joining in. Cool. Great. So this is what I've shown it here. Just look at this, guys. So now if I have sum of two elements, a comma b, and here total I'm saying that a plus b, and now again I'm saying that a is equal to 100. Okay, now print of a and return of total, and and I'm passing C is equal to 100. Now can somebody tell me if I do sum of, so this is my function, okay, look at the function very carefully guys, okay. So now I'm doing sum of 2 and I'm passing say 20 comma 30. Can somebody tell me what will be the output here? Look at this function guys very carefully. So this is my function here, sum of 2 a comma b. So I'm creating a function sum2 and I'm passing two elements here a comma b, okay. Now I'm creating another variable within this function total. So this is my in-house function of that in-house variable of the function sum2, and this total is nothing but a plus b, okay. Now I'm doing a is equal to 10 and I'm printing a here and also returning the total. Can somebody tell me what will be the output of this sum of 2, 20, 30? Quickly, guys. Anirudh, Vanna, Kaustab, Mahesh, Ali, whosoever is part of our chat today, guys. So look at the function very carefully. Slightly tricky, but again, look at the function very carefully, guys, and tell me how exactly the output should be. Quickly, guys, does this question make sense to you? Are you able to understand the question? Okay, so Ali says 50. So 50 would be the output here. Any other responses, guys? Any other responses from anyone? Okay, now we have another answer. Adarsh says output is 10. Interesting, very interesting. Okay. Any other question, any other answers, guys? So these questions are very tricky. So again, I even though I explained you just now, but trust me, this still scratches like a lot of people's head, right? But the thing is, these are very tricky questions, and it's not, if you know the concept, it's not tricky at all, right? But again, you have to be smart enough to understand what is being asked here. Okay, it is very important, and these are very standard questions. These are, I mean, these are asked in your MCQ questions when you go for an interview process. Trust me on that. These are the type of questions which are asked. So now we have another answer from Akash. He says 10 and 50. Interesting. So now Ali says 50, Adarsh says 10, and we have another answer from Akash and he says 10 and 50. Now look at the answer, guys. The answer is both 10 and 50. The reason is, look at the statement here, okay? So what it is doing internally, it is doing first total of a plus b, okay? So whatever a and b will be passed, a total variable will be created where it is a plus b. Simple. Now, irrespective of whatever a I'm passing, I'm replacing a with 10, okay? Now just forget what exactly a you have passed, okay? You have used a to calculate a total, that is fine, but now post this is done, it is a sequential operation in Python, right? So now once a has been used to calculate your total, now a has been replaced with 10, right? A is replaced with 10 now, and I'm printing this a. So whatever a which is actually 10 now till this stage, which is 10 actually, I'll be printing that. So my a value will be 10 here. This is clear. This output will be there because I'm printing this, and also I'm also returning the total. Returning means whatever the computational output of that function, I'm also returning that. So what is total? Total is a plus b, and a is here, a is my initial a, which is whatever I'll be passing. In this case 20, right? Not 10. So total will be 20 plus 30 will be 50, 10, and print a means a is now 10 here, so it will be printing a which is 10, and total will be a plus b, which is 20 plus 30, 50. So 10 and 50 both will be my output here. Clear, guys? Clear? Now let me just give you one more question quickly, okay, just on this note only. So I'll be doing sum of 3 here, okay. I'll be doing this, and then I'll be saying b is equal to c, and then I'll be saying total is equal to a plus b plus c. Then I'll be doing c is equal to b, and then okay, and then I'll be printing b and then returning total. Okay, so now look at this function carefully, guys. Okay, now I'm doing sum of 3, 10, 20, 30. Tell me what will be the output here. Quickly, guys, look at this function carefully. I have this sum of 3 now, a, b, c. Look at the function very carefully, and this is what I'm doing. Tell me the output here. What will be the output? Quickly, guys. So I've changed the function here a bit, okay, and I've given you the inputs also. So instead of doing 2, I'm adding 3 here, sum of 3, a, b, and c. And a, b, and c, which I've defined here, are 10, 20, and 30, and few pieces of code within the function. Look at the function very carefully, guys, and then tell me the answer. Okay. Adarsh says 30 and 70. Anirudh says 30 and 70. Any other responses, guys? Any other responses, guys, from anyone? Okay, then just let me show the answer. Cool? Clear? If anybody is having any doubt in this, let me know. Okay. So now the thing is, you are able to understand the flow of the function, right? So I can do anything I want in the function, okay? But it should be respective of whatever parameters I'm passing. So now, for example, if I'm doing a, b, c here, right? And if I do b is equal to d, for example, right? This will obviously give me an error, right? Because d is not defined here. D is unknown to the function, right? So I can only write the things which is relevant to my functionalities. Okay, so whatever functions I'm trying to use that. Okay, so otherwise it'll give me an error. So I mean that's how the I would say the life cycle of the function also goes. Okay, so you have to be relevant with the parameters or the arguments which you are passing into that. Cool. Chalo, let's do some more interesting things. Look at this very basic function. Okay, so here what I'm doing is I'm making a function add list. Okay, so I'm just making a function add list here, and in this add list what I'm doing, I'm passing a kind of a my list, so more of the list which I want to be added. You got it? So I want this add list function to be used where I'll be passing my list. It is expecting a list element here, okay? And on this list element, I can do whatever. So I'm trying to create an add list type of function on which I can pass my list attribute, okay? So now in this, what I'm doing, I'm initializing a variable ABC, any variable ABC, which is 0, okay? Now for A in my list, so whatever element I'll be having here, I want ABC to be added with A. So basically whatever element is here, I want this ABC, which is a 0, I want this to be added to my element here. Okay, and at the end, I'll be returning my ABC value. Okay, is this question clear to you? Okay, now tell me this part. So now this is your question. I'll be running this here. Okay, and this is my function. Now, can you tell me what will be the output of this code? Look at the function very carefully, guys. This is my add list function, which is on which I'm passing my list element. And you know the function, I've told you the definition of the function. And now I have my list element as say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, simple my list. And now on this, I'm calling the function add list and I'm passing this list element on top of that, which is expected here. Now, can somebody tell me what will be the output of this? This is again simple, guys. I've just used the list functionalities which we have already learned, right? So list we have already learned. So I want to use that list functionality. Any idea how can we do that? What will be the output here, guys? Quickly. Okay. So Adarsh says the output is 15. Okay. Now even Anirudh says 15. Any other answers, guys? Okay, we have one more answer. Vandana also says 15. Any other response from anyone? Any other response from anyone? Guys, are you able to understand this? We did this type of a question before. So you remember, right? So we did that married, unmarried type of a question where we initialize a counter. So child and married as 0. And for every loop, we were adding +1 to that on top of the looping, right? So you know how to initialize a counter. I just initialize the counter here. And I'm just keep on adding the elements, whatever is part of my list, to 0. Is basically my adding adding the elements of my list, right? Clear, guys? Any questions here? Cool. I hope this is pretty much clear. So yes, absolutely the answer is 15 because I'm adding up my list and this is what the logic says. So 0 plus every other element on the loop. So I'll be getting 15 here. Great. Chalo. Now you have one more question. Now look at this. Now this is fine. Now let's I'll do this. Okay, great. Now this is a question. Another question for you. So we'll do a few more things here. So again, just proceeding here, just try to understand how exactly things are being defined. So again, look at this question very carefully, guys. I have defined a function mylen. Okay, so mylen where I'll be passing the sequence element. The sequence could be anything. So now again, I've initialized a counter as 0. So c is equal to 0, which is my initializing counter. And then I'm using for, look at this. So I'm using a special character here. So for underscore in sequence. So here, so whenever I'll be using, so whenever I'm iterating over any sequence element, right, like the for loop, I can use anything, guys. I can use my name also for Arpit in sequence. That's fine. I can write whatever I want. So if whatever I write, so this become my first element. So now I'll be doing that. This will be, for each of the elements. Likewise, I have to keep on adding that. You got it? So whenever the sequence comes, I can just keep on adding. So it is just like my one element, okay? So this is not, we can use anything here. So we can write any special character. I mean, we can use underscore, we can use dollar. So whatever, we can use ABCD, whatever I want, right? So this is not a mandatory requirement that you have to use only use I and say I or J. It's not mandatory to use any of such characters. You can use any special characters also. Okay. So for now, I've used underscore. So here, what does it mean? So I initialize the c is equal to 0. So for every element in sequence, we'll keep on adding +1 to my counter 0, and I'm returning my element c here. So quickly, guys, what will be my output here if I run mylen on hello? Quickly, guys. So what will be my output here if you run the mylen function on hello? So we have an output here 5. Shifali says 5. Any other responses, guys? Any other responses? There shouldn't be a problem here. It's a very simple question. It's a very simple question. The only reason I'm asking you this is covering a lot of topics. Okay, so you are able to understand your looping. You are able to understand your kind of counter initialization. You are able to understand your functionalities. A lot of things you are covering in this. Okay, so we have another answer for Manirudh 5. Okay, quickly guys, another quickly, just if people have solved this, so give me the answer for below 2 also. So tell me the answer for all of three things. So what will be the output of print of mylen hello and then print of mylen 1 comma 2 comma 3, then for hello world? Quickly guys, what will be the output for all of three? This is simple. This is not very difficult. This is a simple question only. So what will be the output of all of three things here? Give me three outputs. Quickly guys. Any doubts, any questions in this? Okay, so we have an answer from Shafali 5, 3 and 11. Anybody is having any other response? 5, 3, 11. Anirudh also says 5, 3, 11. Anybody is having any other response apart from 5, 3, 11? Ali says 1, 1, 11. Okay, interesting. 3, 1 and 11. So Ali says 3, 1 and 11. Okay, I mean, he deleted the message, so I'm not sure I meant that. Any other answer, guys? Apart from 5, 3 and 11, anybody is having any other response? If not, then let me run this. So the answer is actually 5, 3 and 11 only. So now why 5, 3 and 11? If anybody is having any doubt, please ask me the question. Do not sit idle. If you're not able to understand, please let me know. There should not be any hesitation in this, right? It's fine if you don't know that. So here the thing is, see, for hello, the individual elements on which the length will be getting operated are my characters. And what are my characters here? H, E, L, L, O. These are my individual sub characters, right? So for example, if you run a loop over hello, it'll go character wise. Okay. But if you go loop over a list, then it'll go element wise. So I have three elements here. So the length of the list is always a number of elements. Here I have 1, 2 and 3 elements. Spaces are not a concern here. So even if I write this, right, I'll still get what? I'll still get 3 only here. Okay. So this spaces is not a problem, not a problematic thing if I have this list. Okay. But in same thing, if I add a spacing in my string, for example, this here, this space is getting calculated. So hello is 5 characters, world is 5 characters, but this space also is 1 character. That is the reason why it is 11. If I add, say, one more space or say one more space, then I'll get what? 13, not 11. I'll get 13 because now here these are 3 steps now. Okay. So that is the difference, guys. It is important. So this space is irrelevant if you add spacing like this in list. It is not a problem because here in list we just talk about the elements. Okay. So if you count the number of elements, still the counting will remain the same. Okay. Now here, but if you talk about my elements, the number of elements in my string, if I add the spacing, that spacing will be an extra character for me. Always remember that. Is it clear to everybody? Nobody should have any doubt in this. Okay, let me quickly run this also. So let me have this one. Let me add one more linearity here. Now, can somebody tell me what will be the output of this particular question? Same my length function, but I'm running this over my this nested list. Now, can somebody tell me what is the output of this question? The my length function, I'm trying to run this over this particular element. Quickly, guys, tell me the answer for this. Quickly, guys, are you able to understand this problem? So the reason I asked this is again covering my nested list concept. Nested lists are bit tricky concepts, okay, bit tricky concepts, and that is the reason why it becomes really tricky to understand, okay. But we'll see. Okay, we have a response from Shefali, and she's asking a question whether it is 9. We'll see that. Okay, no problem, Shefali. We'll see the output, and I'll explain you also why. Ali has answer 4. Okay, Shefali. Okay, now she says 4 again. I hope you are able to understand that. So anybody is having any other answer apart from 9 or 4? Anybody is having any other response apart from 9 or 4? Okay, Anirudh says my error. Okay, interesting. Okay, yes, why not? Okay, Anirudh, we'll see that. Nikhil says 4. Anybody is having any other response? Guys, don't be idle, please. If I'm asking a question, please do response in the chat. It is really important. Anirudh says 4. Okay, let me run this. The output is 4. And why it is 4? Because it takes the parent list. Okay, always it takes the parent list. And the parent list is what? So in the parent list, I have the first element as 1, second element as 2, third element as 3, and the fourth element as this entire nested element is my fourth element. Okay, it will not give an error. Absolutely an error. It will not give you an error. The entire nested list is the fourth element. That is the reason why we discuss about the nested list, right? In the nested list concept, we discuss about that multiple within list. So here, this entire sub list is my one element. Okay, and to access that one element, how can you access it? And just keep on indexing on top of it. So for example, suppose I'll just copy this. Okay, so suppose if this is my list element, this, okay. So now if you run length on top of list, it'll be 4 because it has 4 elements, right? And now if I have to access anything, so for example, list of 0 is 1 is what? This element. List of 1 is 2, list of 2 is 3, and list of 3 is this entire element. So if I write list of 3, I'll get this entire list, right? This is again one single element. But now if I have to go within this, now this is again a list, right? So this list has again 4 elements, 1, 2, 3, and again a common element. So again, to go inside this, if I write list of 3 of 0, I'll get 1 because this is my first element is 1. This is and I'm getting this one here, okay? Now if I write again of 3, I'll get this again inner list 1, 2, 3, right? And now to access this one, again I have to write of 0. Now I'll get this one again. Now this time this is this one. You got it? This is list within list within list. Nested list. It's slightly tricky, guys, but again, I'm trying to explain you to the best of my knowledge and I mean, trying to break this down as much as I can, right? But again, this is important to know, guys. Okay, so this is how things are. So this is how you index also. Okay. Clear. So with this, guys, I think we can wind up for today. So we have done enough good questions. So maybe we can do some more questions tomorrow. Same time we're gonna meet at 10 p.m. So we can do a few more questions, and then we can maybe proceed with other topics. Okay. So let's have another session on the same topic. So I'm gonna extend function tomorrow as well. So I was thinking to have to introduce lambda tomorrow, but I think let's do a few more questions on functions. We will be more comfortable. I'll introduce you to some more difficult functions, more engrossed functions. We'll do that. But I hope you are able to understand what we're trying to teach here, right? So I hope that is being clear with you, right? Guys, I hope you're liking it. Just tell me if you're liking it. Just a thumbs up will be really good. What is your feedback, guys? Are you able to understand? Any questions, any concerns? You are liking the content? You want me to go a bit fast or you want me to go a bit slow? Please do let me know whatever is your feedback. I think that I'm getting a bit slow, but again, I believe this is how we will be able to understand. If you want me to go fast, I can quickly cover a lot of topics, but I don't know how you will be able to grasp that. So my objective is to not run through the topics, rather to make you understand. This is what I'm trying to look out for. Any feedback, guys? Anything which you want to share? Anything you want me to change? Okay, so Anirudh is comfortable. Great. Thank you so much, Ali. Thank you so much. Anything, guys, please do not hesitate, right? So as I'm always saying, let's try to make this class an interactive one. Okay, so I'm trying to break the concepts as much as I can and trying to share the easiest way so that you can learn that. But again, if I'm not able to clarify anything, please do let me know, because the end objective should be that you go home learning something new. Okay, that is what my objective is. Cool, guys. Thank you so much with this. If any feedback, do feel free to share the feedback. I'm always all ears for that, and I'm always happy to share the content as well. Ali, I'm not supposed to share the personal details here, but I'm always available here, so you can always talk. So let's keep that it that way. Okay, great. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, 10 p.m. with another function set of questions. We'll do some really good questions tomorrow on functions, and maybe we'll start with lambda functions from Monday onwards. Okay, we'll see that. We'll do it that way. Cool, guys. Thank you so much. With this, I'm gonna give your evening back. Stay safe, keep learning, and see you tomorrow, same time, 10 p.m. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Good night.